My guest this week is Maria Luna, the CEO of Bravo Tip and Pay. Bravo Tip and Pay is an app that you can anonymously pay someone or receive money from someone without them getting your email address, phone number, or your real name. All of that is done in the background, and basically you can show up with just a user handle and somebody can pay you via GPS based on proximity, or now they can look you up by your handle and pay you that way. We talk about the current version, which has been around for quite some time and the user base has grown, and then we really get into what's coming out with the next iteration, which is super exciting. And the name change is going to go from Bravo Tip and Pay to Bravo Pay. I was really excited when she accepted my invitation to come on and talk with us, and you're really going to learn a lot about the app and get an understanding of how it differs from a lot of the other apps that are out there that you might be using at this time, and why you really should switch over to Bravo Pay. I hope you enjoy this episode, and thank you once again for listening. Hey everybody, welcome. I'm excited for my guest today. I have Maria Luna from Bravo. She's going to explain the app and everything about it. Maria and I met, I think, back in 2016, and I haven't talked to her in quite some time, but they have definitely done a ton of stuff since then. And we're going to get into all that. I'm not going to spoil it, but Maria, welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
There's plenty of interviews with your history and all of your growing up, the stories about your mother, how she made money, and how this is so dear to your heart, the concept of what you've built, and then your own education, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. So there's plenty of places people can see all that. For me, I love the app so much. And you were so gracious to be a part of my life in 2016. We had opened up a small performance school, and I really want to use this time mostly to get the word out about Bravo and allow you to explain where you've come from and where it's going. I know there's a new iteration of it since 2016. I didn't even know this in 2016. Well, actually, I didn't even know that this had happened since then. But we're going to talk about Shark Tank, which is cool. I don't know how much you can talk about it, but so you can just say, I can't talk about that, but I have some questions about all of that. But again, let's start with just the basic concept of what the app does. And then we'll get into, I know all these other questions will come up.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the opportunity. It's always an honor and a pleasure whenever I am invited to speak about our company. It's really a team effort. Unfortunately, I'm in the majority of the cases. I'm the face of the company, but there's so many amazing people in the team that I want to recognize their work. And I'll be happy to answer anything about Bravo and our history and where we're going more than anything.
Great. Well, I think the best place to start is, I think everyone's going to have some initial confusion when they hear about the app and they then go, but what about, and I'm not going to mention any of the other apps that are on that same sort of platform or potentially do somewhat of the same thing, because I know there's a very distinct difference with Bravo. So I need you to explain what Bravo brings to the table, where it's different than the other apps, air quotes, that are happening or that other people might use.
Okay, more than happy. So starting with our journey and our purpose. When we started Bravo, the main purpose is to financially empower anybody that depends on cash payments, tips, or content creators and freelancers to make a living. And you say, well, there's many, ways of doing that. Yes. But what we bring different to the table, number one, with Bravo, your data is not the product. So we do not monetize on our users' data. And that has massive implications in your security, in the security of your data and the money. So starting with that, we are super different based on how private, how protective and secure we are for our users. But beyond that, and the purpose to financially empower, that takes me to the next version of Bravo. We created first a minimum viable product and then a beta where we wanted to prove, okay, there is this perfect way where two perfect strangers can meet each other, pay each other, and not exchange a single point of data. And that was to take Bravo to the market and prove that there was a need for a super private way for two strangers to connect, pay each other, and continue with their lives. While taking Bravo to the market, and we have listened a lot to our users, and we started to see a lot of verticals popping up beyond the typical tipping situation where you're tipping your valet or anybody that gives you great service. And then we started to see a lot of increased usage in musicians. Podcasters can benefit from Bravo. We're seeing some very important podcasts and podcasters using Bravo. Any type of freelancers, photographers, yoga instructors, trainers, and then we listen to their pain points. And what are those pain points? Okay, whenever they go and put their content out to monetize, to make a living, all of the platforms out there start either taking a lot from their income, so they're costly to use their platforms, and they start having tiers that make it super complicated. So for example, if I have 10,000 users, I have access to these tools, but if I don't, I do not make the money, or I depend on ads, and then they start hiding your content so that you have to pay to be visible. And we listened to all of those pain points, and we did focus groups, we tested things, we went back to them, and we made sure that all of the tools to monetize, combining that social aspect of let me bring my content out and let me be financially empowered by my fans or my supporters, are in one platform and in a fair price, not hiding anybody's content. So you work hard for your followers, for your supporters. I'm not going to hide your content. I'm going to provide those tools and democratize the tools. Why do you need to wait until you're super big to have access to the tools? And that's what we're bringing to the market in our next iteration, which is a perfect combination of sharing who you are, monetizing directly from your fan base, and providing a store item where you can sell pretty much anything.
Yeah, that's really cool. And along with this new version, is that part of the name change that I saw, or did that happen a while ago?
Well, and as a company, because we went very focused on one side of the market, one niche inside the market, which was tipping. We
Hmm.
first positioned Bravo there because we knew that there's a pun, right? Like tipping was the tip of the iceberg. So we knew that the first thing we could solve right away was that interaction of two strangers. But the vision is way bigger, and it was to eventually become this platform that around the world, anybody can be financially empowered directly from somebody that wants to either pay them for one time, and now we're adding recurring revenue. And we're also opening tools so that you can have your own store inside Bravo, if you will, to sell anything like experiences. One use case would be, I'm a musician and I'm going to say, on this concert, I am going to open 10 spaces for people to buy a backstage experience. And they can go and buy it on Bravo, present it, and have their picture taken with their favorite artist, things like that. So the sky is the limit. Your imagination is the limit.
Right. So is it now called Bravo Pay? Is that official?
We are evolving now the name to the final purpose, which
Yep.
is way bigger than just sending
Tipping.
one-time gratuity. So we're evolving the name to Bravo Pay.
Awesome. Okay. So can I give you some scenarios so that I again I want this to be, I think the marketplace in the sort of pay apps is a little clouded, or people get used to something and it's a habit forming type thing, and they don't want to change, and they might not understand that they might be paying fees that they don't need to pay, or they're sharing information that they don't need. That's probably the most important thing that Bravo brings to the table, unless I've missed something. But that's the thing that I keep hearing, is that it's an anonymous exchange of money in a sense.
On this version, on our
Okay.
next iteration, on top of that, which is great for your safety and security, what we're adding is that intersection of social, of finance, of you having that direct support from your customer and your fan base, and expanding the tools, democratizing the tools that in any other platform are costly or depend on ads, or they hide your content so that you have to then pay more.
Great. So again, for clarity, I want to say that the before the new version comes out, the huge part of Bravo was not having to exchange any personal information in order for someone to pay you or for you to get paid. Is that correct?
Correct. The
Okay.
security of paying a total
Right.
stranger.
And so now the new version is you're stacking on the social layer that has been missing, because it's just basically was a tipping paying app. But now you're adding in, if you have Bravo, you're capturing all the social tribe that follows you. You're allowed to interact with them. So you're adding other layers that could be more helpful to everybody, but definitely artistic types and creatives for sure.
Correct. And let me paint the picture for different use cases. Let's say I'm a yoga instructor and I am on the app, and now my students can not only pay me on Bravo, but then I can offer experiences to them through the app that I can sell on my store. So I create a store item for everything that I'm going to offer, and like a super private class or an advanced class or anything that I want to offer, I can do it inside the app. I can also grow my user base or my followers by sharing what I do on the app. So I can then also put videos and pictures and content that can be featured on the app and can be also shared to anyone that it's on the app. So we're doing that intersection of social content and payments.
Wow. So it's not just social connection and payments. It's actually you're allowing content. And are you saying you're allowing even like a storefront situation?
Yes, you can create a store. The only thing is, like, because of the different regulations of the different platforms, the store items have to be for something physical or something that is not an in-app purchase.
Yep.
So I can buy things like I mentioned, the experience of a backstage meeting, or I can buy a special class, something that it's not digital. I can buy it on the app, a merch, a T-shirt, anything that I want to create a store item for.
That's great. That's really, so it's really come like much different than what I knew.
Oh yes, the vision is big, and again, because the purpose is to financially empower everyone. All of these tools are offered in a very democratized way. If you use the recurring tools or the additional tools to monetize, Bravo will keep a 5%, but you keep a 95% of the income. And for the gratuity payments, you keep 100% of it.
Right. So I remember the actual formula is it's a 2% fee going to the person that's actually making the payment.
Correct.
Right. So it's a
Which is another differentiator, because
right.
let's say if you're going to make a payment with other platforms, you, in order for that transaction to be free, and when I say quote unquote free, it's because you are the product most of the time. But let's say if you're going to pay with those platforms, you can only pay with a debit card or retrieving the money directly from your bank account. Bravo allows credit card payments at a 2% fee, which is
Yeah, unheard of.
unheard of in the market as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Um, And it's funny because the listeners and eventually I take this and I put it on my YouTube channel because some people just don't. I don't want the content to be lost for people who don't listen to podcasts. But you and I are both in Arizona, and I first saw Bravo when I would pull up to various restaurants and the valet would have a sign and I would look at it and it would say Bravo, tipping and whatever the sign said or used to say or still says, I'm not sure. But again, for the users, I want them to understand that what has to happen is both parties have to have the app on their phone, which is a free app. It's downloadable on either Android or iPhone, right?
Yes.
And the initial way that the payment occurs is by finding that person via GPS.
There's two ways. If I am near you, I can find you by proximity because of the GPS capabilities. But we also have a search tab that I can find you by your username. And that's another way we protect your privacy. Because my name is Maria Luna, but on the app, if bananas is not taken, I can be bananas. So that gives another layer of security. Obviously, we're in the payments industry. In the back end, we need to know who you are because there are laws and regulations. We need to know our customers. There's a KYC, know your customer regulation. So in the back end, we know who you are, but the person that is paying you doesn't need to know, your real information if you don't want to.
Right.
Your handle is customizable.
Sure. And I think that, again, money, I don't want to say this in the wrong way. Money is great, but physical money is really dirty. Like the handle, it's nasty.
Now the COVID makes us realize it's more.
Right. So this is a very cool thing because the timing of it, where I now have a fairly sizable booking agency in Arizona, and then we expanded into Colorado last summer. So now we're in 2 states and we have over 500 forms of entertainment on our roster, everything from literally instrumental guitars to synchronized swimmers in a pool, all the way up to A-list entertainment. And so for us and our entertainers, we're in that time right now where they are very, they all need to go back to work because that's how they make their living. Most of ours are full-time entertainers, but they don't want people coming up to them to necessarily request songs because they get right on top of you. Or sometimes they'll even come up. I've seen people come up and they're right in your ear while you're playing a song you're trying to sing. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But on top of it, having people come close to put in a tip and put that money in the tip jar, and then you have to handle all that money later on at the end of the night. So this is a huge way to get rid of that whole, they don't have to get out of their seat, that you don't have to handle dirty money. And it's just a great reason why, not only the entertainers should all have the app, but consumers should start to look to put it on their phone. And they're going to see more and more opportunities pop up where they don't have to go like pat their pockets and go, oh, I don't have any cash. It's just, right. It's all done.
Correct. Yeah. And that is the general purpose. We want everybody that work hard for their money, that has something to bring to the world, either service or your art, your talent, to have a decent way of living. So we want to facilitate that interaction where I love what you do and I just tip you or pay you. But now on top of a one-time gratuity, we're adding the ability for me to subscribe to you as a fan and then on a monthly basis support what you do. So you as a podcaster, I can subscribe and on a monthly basis, support what you do. Right. But I also, we're offering and bringing to the table partnerships. Like right now, we partnered with so many virtual concerts. There's a group in Facebook that does a blues night every single night, and they're accepting the tips via Bravo. And a lot of people tell me, what is next? So what is next is all of these tools that we are providing to put even more money on the hands of the creators, the artists, and the service workers. And then we're going to be rolling out a marketing campaign state by state to bring the word out in a disciplined way. I'm very proud to say that we took Bravo from a bootstrap organic movement to now a movement that is going not only in the USA, but we're going to expand into Europe. We're going to expand into Latin America eventually. So Canada also. So yeah, you're going to hear more about us.
Yeah, and I want the listeners to know that I knew you when, because it's true. It's and the fact that you and your husband Hector, the both of you are real people. Like, you've come from understanding that this is a situation where you're making money at something, but more of it is that you're helping people. Like, it's a very sincere movement. This is not a gouging situation.
Well, I would say it's a team effort. Like,
Okay.
the idea was conceived in a trip that Hector and I we wanted to tip our tour guide. We couldn't. We didn't have cash, and that's where the idea was born. It took me back to the days of my mother living on tips and all of that. And then we wanted to create an easy way for people to connect and pay. And then the vision was, eventually this could help not only in the tipping situations, but people that depend on other people to pay at a distance and take it at a bigger level. But we wanted to go very disciplined. It was the two of us at the very beginning, Hector and I. Then Elmer joined us. Hector is a self-taught coder, although he's a physician, so he did the initial wireframes. Then Elmer joined us as a chief technology officer, and now we have 6 engineers of world-class quality.
Wow.
We have a team. We have Adam that then joined us in the marketing side and sales side. Travis Colbert, he is super young, but probably one of the most creative social content creators in the world. And he's working with big names. I don't dare to say it because, I don't know how private these projects are, but as big as it gets. Yep. And we're so fortunate that he is part of the team as well. So super talented, but passionate people. And we started with 25 users by invitation. I think I knew you a little bit after that.
I'm sure.
And we have been told everything. We have been told that brand is going to crush you. They have, millions and millions and billions of dollars. And I'm like, we're driven by a purpose. We're not here to take anybody out of market. We are creating our own opportunities. And the more, the merrier, the more tools that people have to make money. And let's all compete in fairness. I'm not afraid of big money or big pockets because we are driven by that purpose. We created a grassroots with 25 users. Now we are over 250,000 people all over USA and growing. And that is because of true excited people talking to their customers and their fan base.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really happy for you. I want to, can we talk about the subscription piece of it? Just so that I understand, I want to make sure that the users, both the person getting the money and the person paying, understand that the app is free and they just put in whatever their information and then they can, like you say, create their handle, which basically makes them somewhat anonymous or hidden. But then you offer a subscription-based.
And that is coming. It's not available to everyone yet. However, all of our brand ambassadors are testing it, and very soon we're going to open it for a number of thousands of people, general public that want to test it. We're going to open it for testing before releasing it to the whole wide world. And then it's a beautiful thing. Now we're allowing people to first check us out. So you don't even need to create an account to see. And that's, we are changing also our tag name to Explore, Pay, Earn, because that describes better what you can do on the app. Mm-hmm. So you can explore different profiles. So you create your profile. I'm going to be able to see your profile even before I decide, okay, I'm going to actually sign up. To sign up, you provide very little information, your name, your last name, your email. You enter, and you can even enter with your credentials with Facebook, Twitch, many, Apple. We're allowing people just to boom. I enter with my own credentials. And then you can explore the content, whatever you are offering on the app, your videos, your pictures, all of that, it's free. I don't need to pay for all of that. To the content creators, what we allow them to do is create a subscription model. So let's say your diehard fans or customers can then subscribe to support you, and you can offer them physical experiences or things or merch or anything that is not an in-app purchase. You can offer them on the app by creating store items. So more to come. We are going to start releasing little by little. We already started a teaser campaign of what's coming on social media, Bravo Pay, but we're going to very soon open it for people to test it themselves.
Yeah, that's great. So one of the things that I saw was Richard Sherman. Is he a spokesperson for Bravo?
I am so fortunate, again, that we started with so many passionate users that then they brought Richard Sherman. Is one of the kindest, nicest human beings ever. And he shared with me that even he's very conscientious of the importance of empowering, financially empowering people. He dedicates time to educate his fellow friends and players on the importance of finance and good education on your own finances. So he loved the idea, and he joined us. He's part of our advisory team to better understand that world of athletes, because that's another thing. You create content, you can be on Bravo. Not only you have to be on service. I'm an athlete. Think about all of the athletes right now sitting at home and waiting to be called to work. And now they can have this opportunity that on the app, they share who they are, they share their routines, they can share everything. And then they can have that special connection with their fans. Something else we're adding, it's the ability to chat with your favorite person, but it's at will. So let's say you can say to my customers, I'm going to chat with them Fridays at 1 p.m. And then you can turn it off as well.
Yeah, that's great. And I just before we get away from Richard Sherman, I want to make sure that the listeners, because not everyone's going to know him if they don't watch football, but he's an amazing NFL football player.
With the San Francisco 49ers.
That's it. All right.
Yes, he's a cornerback for the San Francisco 49ers.
That's right.
But again, beyond the big figure that he is inside of the NFL, he is a way bigger human being. He has his own charity. He's an amazing person.
That's great. It's great to hear. I was really, when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is, man, Maria's blowing it up. And I just, it's crazy.
Really, it's the whole team and the passion behind it.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. I'm glad. Oh, so when is the new version? I think you said you're starting to kind of send it out here and there to different people.
Right now, all of our brand ambassadors have it in their hands. So they're testing it for us, and we gathered all of their feedback to make it even stronger. On the next phase, very soon, we're going to release it to their fan base. So they're going to be able to provide a code to their fan base to test it. And we are going to also do a campaign so people can request to test it before we release it to the general public.
And is there a release date?
We're not going to announce it yet because there's many factors. And once you are in technology, you know that there are many factors around the launch, and we wanted to make it, again, like everything we have done, like a grassroots. So we wanted to involve our ambassadors, the ambassadors involving their fan base. We're going to open it to people that are curious and want to test it, and we want to use their voices. So if I talk to you, I can talk for many hours, but if a friend of yours or somebody you admire tells you this is a secure, perfect way for us to have this connection, then it's a more personalized thing.
So you've mentioned it a couple times about a brand ambassador. Can you explain to me what that is and how someone would find out about it and how to become one?
Well, we call them brand ambassadors, but they're so gracious. They're just people that love our purpose, pretty much.
So I can be a brand ambassador.
You're hired.
Okay.
So yes, it's people that are passionate enough to join our movement, and we call them Bravo family. And they just tested with their fan base, because ultimately it's a tool to be empowered financially directly by their supporters. In the future, as we grow, we will open opportunities to be paid to be a brand ambassador. But so far, it's very grassroots. We have famous people like Madonna's guitarist is one of Monty Pittman is one.
I saw Monty on the Shark Tank episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like a brother. I love him so much. We have Richard. We have Mike Stud, which is a platinum recording artist, and he also has a podcast called YNK. We have John Kilmer that does a podcast with him. We have Alice Cooper Solid Rock. We have
awesome.
Lee Jansen, that is a professional golf player.
Mm-hmm.
Jared and the Mill, which is a band that it's amazing. If you haven't heard their music, Fayuca band. I can keep going on and on. There's many, and comedian Brant Tupler. So many that I will be unfair if I leave somebody out.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah, it's so funny. I know Faruqa and I know Jared in the Mill. Just because they're Arizona based, but yeah, that's awesome. I have a question that I don't want to forget to ask. How does somebody know that person has Bravo? And I know that at one point when you and I met in 2016, and there were stickers and there was signage, and so does all of that still happen? Is that still available to someone?
We can, but COVID temporarily changed the scene, and I'm very proud to say that despite that many restaurants have been affected, and we have been partnering with some, like Helio Basin. It's a local restaurant that we partnered with to help as much as we can. But all of that market dried up very soon. And then we started then to see a lot of growth in the virtual world, like the blues artists that I mentioned, and
Mm-hmm.
all the musicians and whatnot. So we have been growing despite all of this tragedy, and my heart goes out to anybody that is suffering from this COVID. But the main point to be said is that changed the arena. So now the physical interaction doesn't happen as much, the pay by proximity. So most of the things are virtual. And the way people let them know is, talking about it, like, you can find me on Bravo.
Okay, yeah. So if a performer, so I already have people back at work at a local resort here called the Phoenician. So it would be a matter of them getting into the habit of saying, hey, just if you like what you hear, please hit me up on Bravo. Just something simple like that. And
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, that's great.
It is, like I mentioned, it is a movement, and normally the person that is the receiving side has the power to bring the message to the people they.
Yep. Yeah, and it's funny because you mentioned the virtual stuff, and obviously I have a lot of entertainers locally in town that I know that I see up on any of the various platforms doing their live sessions with the hope of making any amount of tips whatsoever to just keep their head above water. So it more than ever, it's important to have an app like Bravo to be able to receive those tips, and the fact that you're not gouging them with these huge fees. And so everything that a fan or a customer pays them, it all goes to them. And it's a great thing. So I can't stress it enough, because I just think that you're in a different realm, and I know that you're sincere, and it's very much comes from the heart, which is, in the business world, that's a hard mixture of having a heart and still wanting to be successful.
I don't know what they have to fight. Like Henry Ford said once, a business that only makes money, it's a poor business. And I totally live by that.
Yeah.
I have to be responsible with my stakeholders, and obviously we're adding now more ways to monetize. forever the receiving side gets if the one-time gratuities for free, and then the recurring revenue, because we need to provide other tools, they keep 95%. But beyond making money, why not be that responsible partner in society where everybody's uplifted with you? That's
Yep.
what I believe.
Yeah, and you are that person. So thank you for that. I appreciate it for sure. Okay, so
But now
now,
you're hired as an ambassador.
okay, all right, I'm holding you to it. All right, so I want to talk about Shark Tank
Of
because I
course.
didn't know. It totally caught me by surprise, and I'm a huge Shark Tank fan. I follow all of them on social media. I comment all the time on a lot of stuff on Lori's stuff, and on Damon's stuff. They seem to really be up there a lot. Those are the two that I,
Mhm.
and they'll like stuff. I mean, I don't know if it's them in the background doing it, but it seems sincere. Like they seem like they might be the ones answering the comments or liking them or not, but who knows? But I have the date of November 5th, 2017. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and I understand the way it happened was you had won a tech award at
A
some
TechCrunch
other.
Disrupt in San Francisco.
What was it again?
TechCrunch Disrupt in San Francisco. The
Oh,
audience picked Bravo as their favorite startup.
yeah. And so from there, my understanding was one of the producers from Shark Tank saw that, heard about it, whatever, and invited you on.
Yes, they invited us to start the process, but after that, you're just like anybody else. So you don't have any special privilege. You still have to submit your auditions and everything, and then you go through a very lengthy process all the way until they see like the final people presenting, and we were in that group. It was a great experience, and they're good people. They're fun. They're good human beings.
So when you say lengthy process, what is that?
I mean, I cannot share because I have a confidentiality
Yep.
agreement. Like, there's things that I cannot share,
Yep.
but let me. It is not that you just submit one audition and you're in. That's as much as I can say. It's a process.
Sure.
It's an
Okay.
ongoing process where they filter different. The offers are real. All of the conversations are real, and like in any business situation, after the show, then there's the conversation continues,
Yep.
and then some companies move on with the offers, and some companies not necessarily, depending on additional discussions.
Hmm.
But I have to say they were very fair throughout the process, and everybody makes their own decisions based on what is best for the future.
So Lori said, and I quote, "You
Oh,
were."
glory.
Yeah, you were one of the most impressive people she has ever seen on the carpet.
She was very generous to say that. And I have to say this about her. I always say that whenever you say something good about a person, or bad, unfortunately, but I tend not to say, or try not to say anything bad about anybody. But whenever somebody says something good, it's because they see that in themselves. And Lori, it's a good person. So she is all about women empowerment. And I think she was super kind and generous of saying that. And I thank her for that.
How nervous were you?
I have to say the truth. At the moment that you're pitching, there's this all adrenaline that it's in you, that you go into an automatic mode. And I'm the kind of person that I don't take a no for an answer easily, at least. So I went there to bring it. Before that, I was extremely nervous, like any other human being,
Right.
because there's many things. I mean, obviously, I saw other chapters where they pretty much crushed the
Right.
presenters. But my team, and this is where having a great team behind you, it's so important. Hector, Adam, Caroline, everybody. My team kept me focused on one thing. The people that do poorly on the show, it's because they don't know their business for a reason, or they don't prepare well. But we built this from the ground up. I deal with the finances, with the accounting, everything. So from the day one, so I knew the numbers, I knew my stuff, and I knew my purpose and the purpose of everybody in the team. So that took care of the having the confidence. And I mean, in life, what can happen? It's not going to kill you. It's going to make you stronger if it goes
That's right.
bad.
That's right.
Fortunately, it went well, and it opened great doors for us.
I have to tell you, I could be an amazing entrepreneur, I think, if I only had the financial side of things together. And I think that's probably my biggest downfall. And I'm trying. It's just so hard for me. But the fact that, like everyone that goes on Shark Tank, you go in with, we want this amount of money for this percentage of the company or whatever type of deal. But usually it's that, right? It's, we want X for X.
Mm-hmm.
And you, after the end, so the first thing happened is Barbara sort of interrupted you as you were about to explain some stuff and just said, I'm out, whatever she said it was. And then Kevin thought the space was complicated, so he was out. Alex, very cordial. He was just like, if it's not on the back of a napkin, I can't understand it, or something like, or back of an envelope. I forget.
Oh my God, you remember it better than I do.
Yeah, well, I had to watch it because I wanted to make sure that I really understood what happened. And then I could see Lori and Mark whispering, and ultimately they made you the offer. But the thing that impressed me the most was you were so calm. And when they gave you the offer, it wasn't even like you turned to Hector and did one of those powwows that everyone does on chart. You were like, you knew the numbers so well that you knew what you could give up and what you couldn't give up. And you counter offered like so quickly and so precisely. I was like, damn, I want to know how to do that.
Well, I think it's a combination of, you have other people that were with us, friends and family that believed in us and invested also in the company. So you have to have them also in mind and have a bare minimum that will bring value to the people that believed in you first.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that was part of it, and having a plan for what was acceptable and what wasn't.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was just like, wow, I would have crumbled when Barbara first interrupted. I would have been like, oh, it would have threw me off, and I would have just been all over the place. But you were just like right there. I was like, go, Maria. Like,
they're all very gracious. It's just like, obviously it's a show, so they need to make it super interesting. Like, there were places where I saw pauses, and I'm like, they make it super exciting, and that's why they're successful. They're very good at it, at editing.
Yeah, it was great. Okay, so let me recap. So what is the website for the app?
Okay, you can go to trybravo.com. Right now, because we started a teaser campaign, you're going to see a video that says an upgraded experience coming soon. But at trybravo.com, if they want to contact us, they can write to support at try, like when you try something new, at trybravo.com, support at trybravo.com, and contact us. And also, we're very responsive on Instagram. You can find us as Bravo_pay. And Facebook and in Twitter.
Yeah, and
TikTok. We're on TikTok too.
Perfect. So I'll go and put all the links in the show notes so that it'll be easily accessible by everyone. So again, to make it super, super clear for everyone so they don't go and go, what about, I already used this, I already used that. Well, again, the selling point for Bravo is that it's a very safe, secure, practically or basically anonymous way to pay and accept money from anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes. And all of those payment applications, which Bravo, that's a small part of Bravo. We're more than just payments, but those payment applications are designed for friends and family to pay each other, because you need to trust the person. If I don't trust you, I better not receive the money, because once I pay it's a done deal. Right. But with Bravo, more robust way to pay a stranger, for starters. But then the next version of Bravo, which is super robust, where you can share who you are, share your content, directly contact your fan base, or your fan base contact you, and then offer exclusive experiences or merch on the same app.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
I think the majority of the money, if it's recurring, and
yes,
100% if it's a one-time payment.
That's a big, big plus. So I am really excited for you and Hector and the whole team. I feel like we're family because we go back so far, and I felt like it was the beginning, even though I know you started, I think it was 2014 was the inception of.
Well, we formed the company in 2014, but our minimum viable product, we brought it to the market in 2015.
So a year later, I met you. So, and here we are, 2020, and you guys are just crushing it. And I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
So I'll put in all the links in the show notes, and this way everyone can find you and reach out. And I'll make sure this gets on all the various platforms that I push this out to. I'm almost at 5,000 friends on my Facebook musician page. So they will see this, and hopefully we can convert them over and have them start using Bravo and
let them join the movement.
Let them join the movement. I love it. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time. I know you're super busy, but stay healthy. Much success to you. I'm really excited for you both and the team.
Thank you. And let's continue the conversation. I don't want to lose contact with you.
I know it's been too long, right?
Yes.
All right.
Well, really a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I can't thank you enough for tuning into my podcast. It's definitely an honor for me to be in your ears, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast and possibly rating it, sharing it, and if you have the time, to write a review. I hope the content that I'm delivering is something very special to you, and once again, thank you so much for listening.